Thank you for joining us this hour for the Midday Show Live. How are you doing out there? I hope your day is going as planned. Well, for us in the studio, it is. We've been rolling out programs from morning until this hour. And this is the time where we bring you activities across the world where there are activities at the midday that's talking about 12 to 3 p.m. And this is the time or the period of the day where it is assumed that activities are mostly done and people are more productive. So we'd like to talk about that. And today we'll be heading to another country, and this country is in the southwestern part of Africa. But before then, my name is Joyce Iakwari. I have Sambo Solomon in the studio with me this afternoon. Sambo, how are you doing?
I'm fine.
Are you okay?
Yeah, I'm okay.
Okay. Say something to our viewers.
Okay, viewer, out there, we appreciate you for always being in there. We know without you, like I always say, we wouldn't be here. And then knowing that you follow our programs and then you drop your comments, you tell us how you feel, that keeps us going. So just keep doing that. And then we are open, to your suggestions also. So, and Equa TV, that's one thing we are known with, whenever suggestions are being sent, we look into it, we see how we work with it, and then try to give out what the viewer, really wants. And then try to see how iron sharpens iron. I think that's what we stand for.
Well, very true. And this is for our supporters too. We just want to appreciate you for always supporting us, for your untiring support. We are appreciative of that. And to the Equa executive, we can't thank you enough for the platform given to us to bring awareness, information, and, to take Equa to a greater height by giving out information on what it is about, be it the denomination or the institution. Well, and that is a part of connecting Equa to Equa to the world, and so many other factors that are, combined in the effort to see that, yes, Equa is a global institution, Equa is a global denomination, and we are out there, to bring awareness to people. Well, today on the show, we shall be talking about Angola. And do you know where Angola is, and even maybe the capital of Angola? Well, today we shall bring you awareness on that. And Angola's capital is Luanda, and it has about 32 million, 32,025,000 population. That's the population of Angola, and it has the official language as Portuguese, and the location is Southern Africa, bordering the South Atlantic Ocean between Namibia and Democratic Republic of Congo. Then the ethnic groups are Ovimbundu, that's 37%, then Kimbundu, 25%, Bakungu, 13%, and 2% are Europeans, 1%. Europeans are 1% and others are 22%. So, Solo, you take it up from here.
Okay, the name is being derived from the Kimbudu. I love that name. Africans have some kind name that you can't find anywhere. It's very interesting. And then the meaning is it derived for king. Angola was the first settled by Hunters-Gatherer Association Society before the northern domain came under the rule of Bantu states such as Congo and Ndugu. In the 15th century, Portuguese colonies began the trading, and the settlement was established at Luanda during the 16th century. Portugal, which is the country that colonized Angola, and then you have in the 5500, Angola was incorporated as an overseas province of the colony from Portugal.
And well, just like you said, Angola achieved independence in 1975 through the Alvo Agreement. And after independence, Angola entered a long period of civil war that lasted until 2002. Before we continue, we'll be talking the religion, we'll be talking economy, we'll be talking the health sector, we'll be talking a lot of things. But I just want to take a break, and when we come back, we'll continue on that. So please, control room, let's take a break. We'll be back. Welcome back. Well, we are on the midday show live, and welcome back. We really apologize for that, and we just have a situation in the studio where Sambo is having some cough and is under his beyond his control. So sometimes life happens to us, and the human issues just come up even no matter where you are. You know, they are not really respecters of people, but we thank God that everything is under control now. And Solo, are you okay?
Yeah, thank you for understanding with us. It's just that it's beyond control. This is a human that you can't do otherwise. And thank you for understanding with me. I'm okay. I'm good. I'm good.
Do you want us to take a longer break?
No, I'm okay. I'm okay.
Okay. So we shall continue with the country, Angola, and control room. If you're ready, please, let's make everything steady so that we can focus on the topic for today, which is Angola. And like we were saying, we would like to talk about the religion of Angola. So if you can take it from there, please.
Okay. We have a reasonable percentage of Angolans that even though 100% is being shared, you have a 41% which are predominantly Roman Catholic, and then you have a 12% which accumulate those that doesn't have any. You can't say they are Christians or they are Muslims or they are free thinkers. That takes 12%, and then you have 38%. They are Protestants, and then 9%, which compose the animists, the Muslim, the Jews, and the Baha'is. You know, yes, I struggle to call that, and other religious groups.
So you can see from the percentage here that the Roman Catholic amount to 41% of the population, and we have the Protestant at 38%. Then we have individuals associated with any other religious group consists of 12%, just like you said. Then the remaining 9% consists of animists, Muslims, Jews, and Bahamians. And you know, animists had to be tagged here, and I'm just wondering, well, we respect each other's religion, and it's just, yes, and if you hear animals, that means people that worship animals, and they consist on a great percentage, about 9%, right, of the population, the religion population of Angola. Then if we're talking about the economy of Angola, we have 85% of the population which agriculture sustained them.
Yes.
You know, agriculture is well practiced in Angola. I think it's an African thing that everywhere you go, you know, agriculture is, will I say, a sector that is very big, very huge in the economy of the country. If we have 85% of the livelihood, you know, being sustained by agriculture, then the remaining...
From 100.
Say what?
I say take 85 from 100. We
The
have 15, remaining
yes,
15%.
remaining 15%.
Yes.
And you know that, yes, like they have a lot of cash crops, or they invest so much energy in farming. And going forward, oil production and the supporting activities are vital to the economy, contributing about 45% to the GDP and 90% of exports. This is of interest too, because if you say 90% of exports, that means they produce things locally and they export it to other countries. And a lot of the things they produce in the country is being exported. But along the line, you realize why they stop, or they had to stop this. This was when they had colonial masters, you know, who were more, will I say, more of the business-minded, or their effort was more on the export. Their effort was more on productions, you know, and agriculture, which they invested so much. Then they produce these things, then export it to other countries. But along the line, just like I said, it had to stop, but I won't be fast. Let's get there gradually. Then growth is almost entirely driven by rising oil production, which surpassed 1.4 million barrels per day, and which is expected to grow to 2 million barrels per day. Then we have the, let's see, in the last decade of the colonial period, Angola was a major African food exporter, but now imports almost all its food. You see what I was talking about earlier. Now, when they were under the colonial masters, they had the effort, they put in effort to see that they produce all these things locally, or they farm them, then they export them. But right now, as it is, they import most of their food from other countries, which they feed in, and it has to be domestic food. Like when they import them, they feed on it, and it's not even about growing it in their own country to export.
You talked about something earlier, Joyce, like African nature, and if you look at it, most of these countries that are being colonized by the white. Yes, in during colonial era, if you are good in history, they will tell you there's a boom on export. You will hear a lot of export, not import. You said maybe it's because of the colonial masters' mindset on being productive. Yes, you can't rule that. But if you look at it, you ask, why are we being colonized? You check the reason first. You know, they normally come to Africa to explore, and they find reason why they stay in Africa, because they see something that they feel it is of important to the other side of the world. So that's when you will see more of export. In this part of the country, you know about the era of Granite Pyramid. Then they will tell you that is agriculture that funded even the oil exploration that today this country will say, Nigeria, that is in particular, will say is busting off. And then linking it to is because you mentioned Africa. That's why I'm just want to lay this. Okay, look at it now. In the colonial era, you talk about Angola, you talk about export. Okay, after independence in 1975, what happened? Now we see a drop. Now we are not talking export now. We are talking consumption. Not just consumption, but we are talking import to consume. Then you ask yourself, okay, these activities of farming, you know, and then farming in Africa is a place whereby you get chunk of population, you know, active in it. That is from morning till afternoon. People are on farm, is either they are planting, they are plowing, they are harvesting, name it. And I begin to ask, maybe it's because after then we don't see the importance, or they don't tell us the tricks of continuing from where they stop. So I always ask this question because I can't find reason why they will tell you in a particular year this thing is booming, you're good in export, and then even though Angola had her own challenges, later, because immediately after the independence in 1975 there was a war. So that war continued, till
Very long time.
yes
2001 or
2005.
Yeah. Okay, 2005.
Yes, to 2005 or thereabout. So that really affected the country. And once you talk about war, definitely so many things will be destroyed. Then after peace, then you start reconciliation and then start building again. So I believe that really affected the issue of productivity in the country, and so many things that they were known to be doing before, everything now dropped.
Oh, well, that is for the economy of Angola, even though some effort has been put in seeing that the economy can recover, and they invested in fishery. But still, because of the war and because of some other external conditions, they're not able to, stand on their feet. Then we have the coffee production. Though a fraction of it, just little, pre-1975, and is sufficient only for domestic needs and some few exports. So mostly the coffee is for consumption at home and not really for export. Even if they're exporting something, it's just a little fraction of the coffee that they export. So they are going through a lot as a country, though, because if you calculate how long the war lasted, you will know that it's a struggle for them, because it lasted, for a very long time, till 2005. And 2005 to now, if you even calculate it, is a little time. So at least we can cut them some slack and say, okay, they are still recovering in that aspect. But I would like us to go into the politics of Angola, because the politics of Angola, just like I mentioned earlier, is unitary. It has they have both head of state and head of government, and is of a multi-party. Then executive power is exercised by the government, legislative power is vested in the president, and the government and parliament. So I think briefly that's all about the politics of Uganda. Let's go into the health of Uganda. Angola. Yes.
In recent years, Angola has grown in popularity as a destination for expats, that's foreigners, in search of adventure and then general salary package. However, the country bears the reputation of having extremely poor public health sector. And then the sector is into two. We have the public sector and then the private sector. And they try to make it in such a way that the public sector, it's free. So that means if you want to spend extra, you have to go for the private sector. And then looking at it now, okay, the health sector, the one other challenge is that they don't have even good facilities. And yet the public health sector is free. So you begin to imagine the stretch that will be on even if you have a good facility, for it being free, you can imagine the population that will rush for that, and you can see the stretch, to even the infrastructure and then the manpower. But now, they don't even have the adequate facilities, and then yet, but I give them kudos for that. That means they have the masses at heart, for even saying this one is free. You understand?
Yes.
So that's how I look at it, though.
Well, I won't blame you for giving them any kudos, but for me, I think I stand alone on my own opinion. I feel if you are making the public sector free, Instead of giving a small budget to the healthcare, you can actually give a bigger budget to it, because you know that if a thing is free, a lot of people, will go there, they will have access. And looking at it as a poor country already, how many people can afford healthcare? How many hospitals are well equipped? How many, even if the private hospitals are they up to standard? No. It's not like they are up to standard. So it is mentioned that with only the government has only a fraction of expenditure spent on health. That is like not even spending anything, not even is investing a lot in the cost of the public health sector. And treatment at hospital comes at no cost. Just like you said, the majority of the population has extremely limited access to medical care. The country hospitals are found in the capital city of Luanda. And how many people what about the other villages? That's the best.
That's the best hospital, yes.
But what about the other villages? That means they have to travel a long distance, to go to the capital city for access. And even in their own villages, the healthcare systems are not up to standard. So there are a lot of health threats. There are a lot of threats to their health. And if you go further, it is mentioned that the health hazard of Angola too is not that up to standard, because they have the threat of HIV and AIDS. There's the threat of malaria and the neonatal disorders, where even you as a foreigner, we are going to the country, they advise you to get vaccine, or to get anti-malaria drugs when you are coming to the country, so that you can protect yourself against all these. And
talk about typhoid, tuberculosis, cholera, diarrhea diseases. So these are some of the things that they want people like foreigners, people that are intending to come to the country, to take note of this. And they even advise if you can come along with any something that can help you, prevent you from doing that. And the issue of rabies too. They have that, so they even advise people, once you are there, be careful with contacts with animals.
And you are advised also to get your mosquito net, insecticide, as you are coming to the country. And vaccinations are always given the moment you arrive in the country. You are given vaccination so that it can protect you from all these things that you mentioned, tuberculosis, what is the other one? Typhoid. And so many other things, because
cholera.
People's health are at risk in the country, and even as a foreigner, you have to go through all these things, and they don't expect it also to bring your own disease from your own country to their own, because already they are suffering with their own in their country. So vaccinations are important, and mosquito nets too, because malaria, like I will always say, is an African disease. Well, let's move on to the education sector of Angola.
Okay, their system is almost the same with the few African countries that we went through. The first 6 years of the elementary, it's compulsory in Angola, and then that is by law. It is compulsory the first 6 years, and then the basic adult literacy continues to be low, but there is a conflicting figure, on even how to ascertain, like the level of literacy between the adults. So the figure, you can't really say this is exactly. It's difficult to assess literacy and education needs. According to one research, we have 71% literacy in Angola, which I feel it's a good percent. And then you have women, male 85, then women
male 82%.
Male 82, then women 60.7%, which is really encouraging.
And the university, that's the tertiary institutions too, have been developing over the years.
Yes.
Well, after the end of the Angolan Civil War in 2002, and with the oil price increases in the late 2000, the Angolan government was able to collect huge finances, that's from taxes on oil production and diamond extraction, and they were able to, pull it back into the Angola's education system, and that has allowed a new opportunity, to expand and improve the education system of Angola. So that is about the education system of Angola. Now we talked about the economy of Angola, which we measure agriculture to be about 80 to 85%, which sustain the population. So now let's go deeply now into the agriculture sector of Angola, so that at least we'll understand that, yes, okay, from their cash crops, and from their lack of exportation, and now they are importing what they use in their homes. They consume them firsthand before even thinking of exports, which is mostly, done in a small scale.
Yeah.
Yes, so let's go into the agriculture of Angola.
88% of farms in Angola are small to medium in size, and they are used mainly, like you said, just for communal and sustenance of farming. Like we are just doing it to survive, So you can imagine if you are just doing it to survive, definitely, even you have a large farm, you have to just cut a particular portion and say, okay, this is what, that's where we will farm, because doing this, it will contain us. And then you have the agricultural commodities, produced in Angola, which include cassava, bananas, potatoes, corn, sweet potatoes, citrus, and then pineapples. This you can find, very, very well. When you call Angola, you talk about what they produce. These things are...
Well, they have a rich agricultural sector. Is a rich country based on the agriculture, with fertile soils and a favorable climate, and about 57.4 million hectares of agricultural land, including more than 5.0 million hectares of arable land. Before independence from Portugal in 1975, Angola had a tradition of family-based kind of farming and self-sufficiency in all major food crops except wheat. Then the country exported coffee and maize, as well as crops such as sisal, bananas, tobacco, and cassava. But by 1990s, Angola produced less than 1% the volume of coffee it has produced in the early 1970s, while production of cotton, tobacco, and sugarcane had ceased almost entirely. And we mentioned the war condition. Then we had the poor global market as a condition too for the decrease to 1% since independence, and the lack of investment, from other countries or even individuals in the country. There's a lack of investment in the cultural sector, with the limited finances, in investment in the sector too. So
yeah, you see, we mentioned that issue of war anyway. Sorry, earlier we were like 2005. It was 2002, the stretch, 1975 till 2000.
So that means I was right.
Yeah, you were.
About 2001.
Yes, you're right. So the stretch, like you said, counted the number of years, of fight, war. You can imagine the damage, that it will be done to so many sectors. So, and then, yes, they are faced with these challenges, but still you can see from just what we've gone through, what we've mentioned, you could see is a country that really want to be on her feet. So you can see the openings for those opportunities. We have the poor global market, if you put it like that. So it is a sector that will feel, yes, there are people that can just take advantage of that. And then even the government. Sometimes it's our policy. You know, once you make policy that will be very conducive, attractive, and friendly to investors, you know, you talked about lack of investors,
Yes.
you know, in that country. So you will see that investors will be coming because they don't want to come a place and then put their resources and then there's nothing coming back, and maybe the laws, you know, guiding the sector or doing business in that country is not really favorable. So people can run away from that. But you can see the openings there from what they produce. Yes, somebody can say, okay, can we go into MOU either with the government or with the people of the community and say, what do you produce? Is it banana? Okay, can we do it in a large scale and then export and then see how you improve yourself individually as community again, and as country, see how it will help to improve the GDP of that
Well, I
particular
believe
country.
they have a strategy, though. So we'll wait on that. Maybe let's give them a time frame
Sure.
to, you know, pick up from where the war hits them hard, because they just recovered. Let's say the war ended in 2002, and this is a recovery period for them. But before we move on, even though I would like us to look at the common foods, but I would like us to take a break too, so that others that are watching us on Facebook and YouTube, you can comment, because we are open to taking your comments. And it has been the Midday Show live here on Equa Television Africa. Let's take a break. We'll be back. All right, welcome back. It's still the Midday Show live only on Equa Television Africa. My name is Joyce, and I have Sambo in the studio, whom is doing this program with me. And before the break, we said we would like to talk about the common foods, and you are right on time. If you are just joining us, we are talking Angola, and we've talked about the economy, the agriculture, the health sector, and even the health hazard of Angola. And today, and right now, we'll be moving to the common food, like the common food that are found and how they are eating. Also, so Sambo,
I love this part, you know, the food part of the show. You know, we have most of the ingredients that Angolans use to prepare their own local food, which include flour, beans, rice, fish, pork, chicken, and several vegetables such as sweet potato, plantain, tomato, onions, and then okra. They have okra too, and you know, it was one of the soup that I like. However, the most important is obviously cassava. And I ask, why is it cassava? You know, but I believe, like you said, if someone is farming cassava, you can't find it farm it for export because or for sell.
yes,
You farm cassava in your house, ID,
consume.
and then everybody. So you find out there's a common thing in the house. So I just believe that maybe that's just the reason, you know. And then you have this food that is called mufite of fish. The dish is a combination of grilled fish, beans with palm oil, boiled plantain, boiled sweet potato, cassava, flour, and the fufite sauce. The sauce with chopped onion, tomato, bell pepper, lemon, and olive oil.
Okay, we have Muamba de Galinha. That's the Angola or Galinha region. Imagine if you are hungry and you are trying to order for this food. How will you start from, okay, I want Muamba de Galinha de Angola? Or is it Galinha region? That's Muamba. Is in short Muamba chicken.
Yeah.
That's a short form for it. It is slow cooked chicken with okra, squashed dem paste. It's cooked for 1 hour and is served with fungi. That's a typical Angola plate made with cassava flour. You see cassava too found its way here. So this is about this food, and it has a very long name, and I believe that it has a very delicious taste in the mouth. Well, let's go to the next food.
You have paracuca. Paracuca is a ginguba, a roasted peanut with sugar, sometimes with variation. You know, you have the cinnamon, vanilla, or hot spice. That's basically what paracuca is all about.
Okay, we have the piccole. Piccolo is an ice cream that boys sell in the street in a trolley car in the street, especially when it's hot and in between the crazy traffic. I think we have something like this in Nigeria, where we have ice cream in sachet, where people sell, now not boys, like men, they sell it on, they have like, what would I call it? Is it like a cabinet or a small fridge, you know, in front of their bicycles, and when they ride, you can stop them in traffic or on the way to buy it. And some even push it with a small freezer too in their trolleys, and they sell it. So this is what they call piccole there, ice cream that you can take when the sun is out and there's traffic. So you know, when traffic hits you, there are times that you just need something cold so that you can relax. So that's the name. So if you find yourself in Angola, you should ask them for piccole. At least they will serve you with an ice cream.
And then we have banana asada, toasted banana, roasted plantain. In Angola, there is a vast variety of bananas, plantain, red bananas, apple bananas. Plantain is used in many dishes and is as a side dish, replacing potato or rice. That's basically about banana asada.
I think banana asada can be, okay, let me say this. I think it's bole in the Yoruba.
Okay, yes,
roasted,
something like that.
Yes, roasted plantain, where you can take it to granite, or you can take it with fish sauce. So this is it too. Then we have fungi, which is cassava flour porridge. Cassava is just everywhere. This is the base of the Angolan diet, and it is mostly eaten every day by Angolans. Fungi is made of fuba, that's its flour, or cassava corn.
We have kalulu. I love the name. Kalulu.
I think you love the name because you are not so hungry and you are not about to order for it. Imagine that you are hungry. Maybe when you are in the country, you'll be used to it. But imagine I'm so hungry and I go to a restaurant and I'm like, give me Muamba de Galinha de Angola. You know, as a foreigner.
Like a sentence.
Already, my stomach will start crying.
Fish kalula is a typical Angolan and Sao Tome and Principe dish. Wow. You know, it's cooked with dried and fresh fish, okra, tomato, sweet potato leaves, palm oil. Wow. It is served with fungi and beans in palm oil.
Well, that's all about the food before we start, getting hungry. But
Already, I'm hungry already.
I
We're
know.
calling all this food, you
Always
just feel
hungry.
like eating.
You're always hungry. Well, let's move to the etiquette and manners in Angola. Okay, maybe before we go in, I would like to ask you, what do you think is the etiquette and manners in Nigeria? Like, what is that one that you can easily point that it is?
You're just putting gun on me. I can't remember any.
Okay, well, I think in Nigeria, one of the etiquette or manners is when you formally greet people. Good morning, sir. Good afternoon, sir. Or good afternoon, ma. Good evening, ma. Good afternoon, ma. The elderly don't really like hi there, hi this, or a straight handshake. Especially from a younger person, greeting an older person with a handshake. They'll look at you like, is this one okay? But the right manners is when you greet an elder, good afternoon, good evening, and all that. Then what other etiquette can I remember? I think this is one of the former, though maybe when we, when you read through,
remember.
you remember. So,
Yes.
but in Angola, giving gift is only really practiced in urban areas. So I think the urban area now will be Luanda. One of the urban areas will be Luanda, and that is where you find gift giving. In the rural parts, it's not really practiced that well. Then if you're invited to an Angolan home, bring fruit, flowers, or chocolate to the host. I think in Nigeria, if I'm invited, sometimes we just go without even anything. So, but except when you are told that you should bring a plate. I remember one story of someone that was invited to a party, and the host was like, bring a plate when coming. And when the person was going, or when she decided, okay, let me go for this party, she took an empty plate to the party. And everyone was like, bring a plate means have a dish, something on it inside. Yes.
Well, okay, you can't blame her. Say bring a plate, even though
that's why you celebrate different cultures. When you find yourself in a foreign land and things are being said to you that way, you ask questions, because you don't just assume that this is what is
in your own place. This is what it meant. A small gift for children is always appreciated. That is with them, it's something that blow their mind once you are coming and you know that there are children in the house. Even though in Nigeria too we are good at that. You start asking, you are going to the house, you don't bother about the parent. You'll be like, okay, did they have,
even though the gift that you give the children, especially if it is money, belongs to the mother as usual. So in Nigeria, I think that is it, where you give a gift to the child, except maybe it's a clothes, a dress, or something for the child that the child will wear. But if it is money, just know that.
Or something the child can just take immediately.
Just know that it's for the mother, because mothers are always... Then gifts are not always opened when they are received, and I wonder why. Do they keep them for decorations, or is it that they are not anxious to open them? If you give me a gift, I think I won't sleep that night. I'll be waiting for me to open it, like I'll be desperate to open it. I love gifts, I love surprises. That not all type of surprises. There's some surprises that are annoying though. But I think when you give me a gift, I think it's a Nigerian thing though, even though it's not general. Or maybe the ladies thing in Nigeria, where you give them a gift, there's that excitement. They want to open it.
Immediately know what is inside.
And when I open it, it doesn't necessarily mean that I'll start using it that time. That's if something that we use, not it. I don't think I can keep it. I can open it, just keep it, but let me just know that it's a gift that I open.
It varies, like you said. Some will just feel, okay, I'm just giving you a gift, and then quickly you really want to see.
I will open it. It's not my gift.
So in their own case, now you see, maybe they will keep it until the visitor leaves, or maybe if the visitor is passing the night until he goes back to his room, he's sleeping, then you go and open, and you're like, wow, you do all the jumping alone. And appreciate whatever is inside there.
But I would like to show you my true reaction, so I'll open it in your presence. So that, except maybe you're old, you're an elder, then I can respect, like.
But you say you had you like surprises, even though not all. If you have expectation, like okay, I'm expecting something big, and then behold.
No, if I'm expecting and you are giving me the gift, I don't think I'll open it that moment, except when you say open it. When you ask me to open it, then I will know that maybe you lived up to the expectation. But if you just give it to me, I will read your body language and your reaction. I'll be like, maybe this one did not even give me what I asked for, so let me just keep it aside. Then later I can open it and be angry all by myself.
So if you are in Angola and then you give them gift and you didn't see them opening there and then
yes, don't be
offended. It's one of their air ticket.
Then we have the dining etiquette, and Angolans are extremely hospitable and enjoy entertaining friends and families in their homes. So if you are in Angola, you should know that they are open-minded people. They are open and they are warm to visitors and friends, and they love all these family things. Like they can easily invite you, to their home. Do you think that can be found in Nigeria? Like maybe you see a foreigner, maybe he's new in the community or in the town. Do you think Nigerians like invite them to their homes or for dinner and things like that?
I don't see that.
They like to mind their business.
Yes, that's it. I don't see that. But then I don't know. Anyway, it's a topic for another day.
Well, moving forward, in Luanda, they also entertain in restaurants, in cafes, since they have adopted more Western ideas about socializing. So if you're in Luanda, you should expect that you'll be invited to cafes or restaurants so that you can socialize and, have that warm reception by today's citizens.
The Angolan approach to entertainment remained much of the Portuguese influence, including the time of dinner, invitations, such which are often around 8 p.m., dress as you will in the office. Dressing well, demonstrate respect towards your host. Shake hands with each guest individually. They see it as a respect too. Not that shake few people and then some you wave them. That's the way they see it.
Well, then you try not to discuss business in social settings. When it is about fun, you talk that you stay on it, not that you bring your office business and you start discussing. And I think it should go side by side. In the office too, don't bring social whatsoever to discuss there. Let business be business, let fun be fun. Then food is often served from a communal bowl. Then they use the serving spoon to scoop food from the communal bowl onto your individual food, onto your individual bowl. I think it is also found in Nigeria, and it's just a good manner or etiquette where you have a big bowl where everything is contained, even if they are separate dishes, but at least one spoon for each of the bowl can be put so that you serve yourself and pick whatsoever you want.
If offered the last serving of an item, offer an initial refusal and then expect your host then offer the item a second or third time, in which case in such case you may accept. I really don't get this.
It's because of how you are saying it. What they mean is when you are offered, for example, if you're invited for a dinner, right?
Yeah.
And you're offered the last serving of an item. Let's say maybe one potato is remaining. You are expected to say no till the host insists the second time and the third time. Then that's the time you can accept it. So it's as simple as that. Not the first offering. You should just, jump on it and collect. No, it should be the second and the third, and they see it as a respect. And also at the dining, when you're having dinner with older people, it's expected that the eldest first must cook his own food before every other person will
I
do
think
that.
that one is common with the most all African.
Where we have the head of the house, not necessarily the eldest. You can go to a dining or invitation where you have dinner, and I think it's the head of the house that will be served first, or the host that will be served first before it goes round, because it's expected that the head of the house is the eldest. Even if you that is being invited are older than the head of the house, you have to. But sometimes in some culture, they serve the host, the invited guest first to show like respect. But in that, you don't get to sit at the head of the dining. It's always for the fathers. So that is found in Nigeria. And I think we have similarities too with the Angolans.
We do.
Briefly, let's talk about the meeting and greeting in Angola.
Greeting are formal and courteous, and it includes handshake. So they expect a greeting a lot, and then handshake. And I think
they see it as a form of courtesy.
Courtesy, yes. I think Nigerian too, we do that. There's this handshake you give it a grip. They feel like the earlier one they said, you can't just come to a gathering and shake few people and then leave. You are expected to shake everyone. It's part of their etiquette. So you can see it coming back here, Joyce.
And for the women now, when you are greeting someone, you should avoid eye contact with the person. It's seen as disrespect, so you should try and avoid eye contact.
Although it's less important in Luanda, since many people in the city are from another place in the country, it is a good idea to illuminate the
behavior
the behavior of the person you are greeting. So the response alone also it's important. And then once you are in a place, you have to observe, okay, how do they do their own greeting? So you have to keep
there are some cultures that bow. So you have to do same.
Yes.
The person is bowed.
Even if you are the one that shakes, at least by recognizing that bowing and then shaking, it shows that yes, you are concurring with what is happening there. You are sensitive rather with what is happening.
Then another thing is greetings often follow the African protocol of polite questions about one's health and other social pleasantries, like how are you doing? Are you okay? How is the family?
Family, how's everyone doing? Hope you're fine. Like you asked me earlier.
Yes.
I noticed you saw me struggling or something. That's what came to my mind. Like, are you fine? Like,
I was wondering what was happening to you. So. Then it is important not to rush this process when greeting someone more senior than you in age or position. It is considered polite to bow slightly, just like I said earlier. You have to bow slightly, and you don't have to rush it. So it won't be as if, okay, you have other things to do, and it will come off as being disrespectful. And if you know a person's professional title, you may use the title when conversing. So what's your title?
Master.
No, professional title.
My professional title.
Okay, please, let's move ahead. Please take it back.
Government officials may be addressed as Excellency or Excellencia without using their surname. So you can see that's their own. Business cards are given without formal ritual.
Then, although not all Angolans have business cards, they expect experts and business travelers to have them. It's expected you as a foreigner that is visiting, you should have this business card.
Okay.
When you meet someone, you give it to them. Then present your card so that it is readable to the recipient. Do not use some fonts that are unreadable.
You struggle to read.
That you struggle. So let them be bold and, visible and readable to the person that is taking it from you. So that is all about the etiquette, and that is all about the Angolan people. At least one person has picked something. If you are traveling to the country, you should know that, okay, this is what is expected from you at the dining. This is expected from you when you are greeting someone. You should know their statistics too as being poor or rich. language, their agriculture, in case you want to invest or you want to, move and settle there, you should know what is expected. And
In social
you should learn
gathering,
the
you know
language
what is
too because they
expected.
speak Portuguese, yes?
I say in social gathering, you know what is expected,
Yes.
so that you not carry your business to social gathering.
Yes,
so you
you
know
won't
how
go
to
and
separate.
start discussing business when you are out there to have fun, and you are expected to talk entertaining things, Then when you want to even welcome people into your homes, you should dress as how you dress in the office because it's expected as being polite. So that's all for Angola.
Yes, Joyce. And I've learned a lot too, even from this one, and which I believe someone out there may have added something to his knowledge box or bank. Thank you so much from me, Sambo Solomon. I appreciate you for doing this with us today.
Well, that is all we can take on the show today, and it has been Angola on the Midday Show Live. My name is Joyce Iyakwari. Thank you so much for joining us. Join us next time, even as we bring another fresh episode to you. God bless you.